I am. We'll do the clap sync and a marker. Okay. Ready? Right. 3, 2, 1, mark. Oh, got it. That was it.
On your mark, get set. We're riding on the
Clueless
internet, cyberspace, set free. Hello, virtual reality. Interactive appetite, searching for a website, a window to the world, got to get online. Take a spin, now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the
Clueless
internet.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clueless Internet podcast. It's episode 18.8. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm joined once again by my wonderful co-host, Howard.
I'm not Alex. Hello.
I'm Alex. What?
Yep.
And we're here once again. I'm just going to glaze over that one. Oh, like a snail. And we're here once again with. I keep wanting to say that we've come with no notes, but I feel like I've come with a lot of notes because I depend on notes.
You can't fucking help yourself, can you?
I mean, how have you been this week, Howard, in isolation? What week is this? Week 10? We've missed a few weeks, I think. Tired, apparently.
I'm alive, though.
Just about. I mean, this week... What was you going to say? Sorry? I'll cut you off. We're over the internet.
We are.
Howard, are you speaking?
Are you speaking?
Hello? What?
What?
Connection.
Why? I think
No,
we are.
I'm joking.
I think we are getting a bit of a funny connection.
No, I'm joking. I'm all right. I can hear you.
Because every now and
just
again,
like
you just kind of go...
That is my signature move.
into the distance.
Oh. What? Anyway, so it's been a bit of a mad week, as
it has been a week.
People will know. We'll get onto that in a little bit. I want to speak about the UK situation regarding the lockdown, as it's been updated as of today, Monday, the 1st of June. It has been updated so that people who are shielding against the disease, who have formerly not been able to leave the house at all, can now leave and sort of meet up with one other person, not from their household. I don't think that it's the same as like how I think we currently have it, where we can go out as much as we want now. I'm not sure if it's to that level, but you can at least go and meet with someone instead of being cooped up if you're one of the shielded individuals who we must protect.
And do you
coronavirus.
Do you trust this information?
Are you going to tell me that I shouldn't?
I don't know. It doesn't sound like. Is there a vaccine?
No.
Then these people probably.
You probably should limit the amount that you go out, and
you probably should limit
the
everything with everyone and everything.
Yeah. If you see somebody, just run.
If you're that vulnerable, the government probably shouldn't be telling you to go outside. It's fine. Yeah, just go and smell the roses, lick the faces. Yeah, go on.
In that order. Just so that you smell like roses when you lick someone.
Just be super careful if you're vulnerable.
Not even if you're just vulnerable. Be super careful everywhere.
Well, just be super careful, yeah.
Everyone. But at least you can go outside now, so you're not cooped up inside and going insane like I am. But for people who aren't shielded, such as you and me, Howard, I think we can now meet in groups of up to 5. We all still have to keep up the 2-meter distance apart from each other.
All 5 of us.
All 5. So you have to but you can't go in a circle. Unfortunately, you have to go in a line. So like if you want to get a message to the person at the front, you have to just not speak to them. So.
That's stupid.
If you don't like someone, stick them at the front. No, I'm joking. That's not the rule. You can go in a circle.
I was going to say, that's fucking stupid.
I would love if that was instigated, though. You just see so many people along the road just in lines going, "Where are we going? I don't know."
You just cut yourself off, I think.
Did I?
I think you had just destroyed your own sound filter.
I think I just made a terrible joke and it backfired.
All I heard was.
That was basically the gist. That was basically the gist. But yeah, so you can meet up in groups of 5. I think you can go into like people's back gardens and stuff. You still can't go into
Invited.
houses yet.
You have to be invited first.
I mean, yeah, you kind of have to. You have to know the person whose back garden you're entering. I mean, yeah, most of the time. But so yeah, you can go to your friends. Let's say your friends, not people. Your friends' back garden, but you have to sort of keep a 2-meter distance. And if a 6th person shows up,
Kill them.
yeah, you know what's got to happen. It's spike time. It's time for the spikes. Where? I'm gonna leave that up to you. But yeah, so that's sort of the UK news going on. Now we're going to hop across the pond to neighbours or sisters country. Neighbours from across the pond. Where Anonymous has popped up again after, is it like 3 or 4 years of hiatus?
Well, they've never really left, because to say that Anonymous left, you would have to break the cardinal rule of Anonymous, which is to say that it's an organisation that it has a leader. So Anonymous never went anywhere.
So
it's always
like
been
ET.
there. But I think they haven't.
ET.
I think what they mean by coming back is they haven't done any major work. There hasn't been any major leaks. The kind of what would you call it? Environment for leaks and stuff and whistleblowers kind of got deafened once everyone got shut down. Like people like fucking Assange got done as fucking Snowden living in Russia. It's like you can't.
With WikiLeaks and stuff.
Yeah, I think that kind of worried a lot of people away from doing anything big for a while. I think it was a deterrent that worked.
Plus, I'm pretty sure a lot of people who associated with Anonymous got arrested as well. So
yeah, but I
can see why they wouldn't want to
yeah,
do anything.
I think
else
on a
for
level
while.
though, they're always there. They're always. I mean, the whole point of Anonymous.
They do not forget.
Is that anyone can essentially be an Anonymous. You just kind of go and do. You don't even have to ask. You just go and do stuff.
I'm in Anonymous.
You just kind of go and join and just like, as in like someone will. A lot of the time, people don't seem to understand this. They think it's all like organized and all this other stuff. A lot of the time, what Anonymous would do to shut down a website would be they would just brute force it, and they would just build a program that's dedicated for that, share it out to as many people as possible, and then
they would essentially launch DDoS attacks. I'll explain what that is later.
Yeah, but you're using the populace to do it. So technically, they were all in Anonymous. Did half of them know what they were doing? No.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Do any of us?
And people got done for doing stuff like that, and it was like, all I did was download a program and run it. It's like, yeah, but you know,
I thought it was Minecraft. Let alone did I know I was leaking all of Russia's information.
Yeah.
Whoops.
But to say that would be to say that Anonymous is an organisation. It's not so much an organisation as a mentality that people have online, especially amongst people who know how to get around the back end, essentially, of everything. Especially after where we've found, like, where I suppose you're going to go into the story more, but after all the places that we've heard about, they've got into recently.
Well, most recently, I saw it was like an hour or two ago. They got into the Chicago Police Department's either website or it was their police radio playing "Fuck the Police" over it. Is it NWA?
Yeah. Oh, they were doing that. Yeah, they were doing that. Was that on Saturday or Sunday?
I think it was mostly Sunday they were active. I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I think Saturday was mostly peaceful protests. So
yeah.
So I think Sunday it was probably. I don't know if it helped.
Less peaceful
I don't know if it
protests.
helped or didn't help with the escalation, because that probably put the police even more on edge, because then they couldn't communicate with each other, and then they were shitting themselves, and because they're a bunch of.
It's all a bit. It's all fucking up in the air.
And that put them on fucking high alert, and probably didn't help.
high attack.
As funny as it is, and as probably as much as it probably did help, it probably did save a few lives. It stopped the police being able to coordinate attacks, but at the same time, from what we've seen, they were just they eventually just became indiscriminate and just attacked everyone.
Yeah. So if you're out of the loop and haven't looked at the news lately, Anonymous sort of, attacked, I suppose, regrouped, and promised retribution for the death.
Reinforced
the murder.
Reinforced their efforts. Was this because of George Floyd?
This was because of the murder of George Floyd, the 46-year-old, who was, brutal. I'd say brutally, because it was fucking horrible. If you've seen the video, I wouldn't recommend going to watch it. But if you have seen it,
I think most people have seen it by now.
Most people probably have seen it at this point, but I wouldn't recommend going out to look for it. Was unfortunately murdered at the hands of Derek Is it Chauvin? Chauvin?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
After he knelt his knee on the back of his neck for 9 minutes, where George was saying, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe," and he was essentially just pleading for his life at that point. Horrible, fucking murder.
They later blamed his death on a weak heart. They were like, his heart couldn't put up with my knee on the back of his neck for 9 minutes.
I wonder why.
That's one way to spin it. Yeah,
I can't imagine. Either way, either you choked him or he died from a heart attack. What a terrifying way.
The heart attack was a result of being choked. Let's not mince that in any way. They murdered him. Yeah, let's not mince that in any way.
People who are there to protect you are there to murder. Like, oh god, it's fucking horrible. And this was all over an acclaimed forged check that he or his friend tried to use, because I think there were two guys in the car. Either he or his friend tried to use a forged check at a local grocery store, where the police say that he sort of resisted arrest and was, and I quote, possibly under the influence of drugs and alcohol. But
possibly, maybe shoot him. No, don't do that.
Just kneel on his neck for 9 minutes.
Make it worse.
Fucking
idiots.
And so this caused mass protest. Nothing violent at first, and then the police, who brilliantly, just mind-blowingly brilliance on their behalf, decided to combat this peaceful protest about police violence with more police violence.
Well,
it cancels each other out.
If you follow, I was following the events on Saturday, through to Sunday morning, then through to Sunday evening. Before the police turned violent, they did something as bad as what they're doing now. I think much worse than that, and much more underhanded. You might have missed this, but on Saturday there were images emerging of plainclothes cops amongst the peaceful protesters.
Yes, I saw this.
They could be spotted by the thin blue band on their arm, which is actually an outdated method of the police spotting each other in crowds, especially if they're not in uniform. So they also had a more up to date, because it was the colour of the day. It was a white armband on the left arm, so you could easily see them in crowds of peaceful protesters. You could see them instigating. So a lot of them you could see. There was one of them so easily. It was so obvious that he was he was a plainclothes cop. He had you could see the shape of the handcuffs in his back pocket. You could see his armor, it was like he was wearing stab-proof vesting and stuff underneath his shirt and everything. You could. It was just like, oh, there's a cop, and then you look at.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm just kind of kinky.
And then you could look over, and then literally, oh, there's another cop. And there were a lot of these, and not just these, but there were also civilian saboteurs, because some people weren't there for peaceful protest. Some people are there for anarchy. because
No, there's always going to be people joining in for ulterior motives.
Because these protests, from what I've seen in the video footage, the peaceful protests, and the riots that followed afterwards with the police instigation, it's people of all colours, every background. Everyone is turning up to say we are fucking sick of this,
and we're
fucking done. I saw just throughout the day. I saw we saw saboteurs, peaceful protests. I saw protesters protecting an officer that got separated from his unit. I saw a police officer protecting a peaceful protester from another police officer. I've seen the police throw down their helmets and batons and take a knee with protesters. But I've also seen that as a tactic where they've taken a knee only to then pull down their helmets when everyone's then disarmed and then throw canisters.
That's even worse.
Fucking anarchy.
It's thuggery. At this point, the police are there to de-escalate the situation. Whereas I've seen multiple peaceful protests where literally nothing's happened.
No, they just
in
walk
sort of the whitest neighborhoods possible. And they're just, I mean, I can't even remember what clip it was. It was on a Jimmy Dore video that I saw very recently. And there were just people standing there with signs doing nothing, and they threw a tear gas grenade or something into the middle for fun. No one was doing anything. And then they started to mace people. And
have you seen like the compilation where there's like, you see the police just driving down the road, literally they just start spraying it out the window for no reason.
Yes,
and then ploughing into civilians with their cars.
And they wonder why there's civil unrest.
They don't get me wrong. There are bad actors of kind of every group out there at the moment, because that's what these events attract. But most of the bad acting, like I can with positivity, like the amount of footage I fucking sat through and watched from independent media and from conglomerate media, the majority of the violence is coming from the police. They've attacked the press. There's footage of the press just trying to do news reports.
They got shot with rubber bullets, didn't they?
Reporting live, being arrested, being shot at with rubber bullets. You can literally see the police fucking take aim on that one group of fucking people doing a report, and it's like, what?
It was a woman and her cameraman or something, wasn't it? And then like you could see the guy coming up with it looked like a paintball gun.
But at the same time, I'm not going to say it's all one group, because I mean, I've seen some heartbreaking things where I saw fucking idiots like fucking burning a homeless guy's fucking few things he had in life. And you literally see him like screaming at them and crying at them not to burn this fucking mattress. And it's like, guys, that's not what you're fucking there for.
I had to take a break from Twitter
I
after
wanted
I
to
saw
see
that.
those kids. I wanted to curb stomp those kids as much as I saw. I wanted to fucking curb stomp those fucking police as well. Because that's like, you're gonna take the person who has the least in the world. That small amount of privilege that you've got is that you're not fucking homeless, and you're gonna fucking pick on them as well. And it's It's a big fucking mess over there.
When I did see that clip of that mattress being set on fire, I kept seeing tweet after tweet where one was saying it was Antifa, one was saying it was InfoWars, and it was just sort of a back and forth about who it was.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to have to gather all this evidence maybe next week or something.
Everyone's been saying that Antifa's out in force, and this is kind of Antifa's MO. But at the same time, even if they are there, I don't think they're the largest. I don't want to defend Antifa in any way. I think Antifa are a backwards, illogical group of people who decide to fight fascism by being fascists. They're a bunch of cunts. But at the same time, I haven't seen much evidence for them here. But mainly because everyone during this pandemic anyway, and during these riots, kind of has to dress like Antifa. You kind of have to wear their garb. It's like you have to cover your face. You have to do all that. Why? Because there's fucking tear gas and all this. You can't go around going it's all Antifa, because how do you know they're Antifa and how do you know they're not? You can't decide that. Everyone is wearing the same kind of stuff Antifa would wear, because that's just what you do when you have armed fucking police officers with
battering you,
tear gas and And that fucking mace, the amount of people I've seen been maced for no reason. Some woman walking along with shopping bags gets fucking maced. I saw some woman who had been walking home with her groceries had fucking got a rubber bullet to just above her eye, almost lost her eye. I've seen a photojournalist who's been shot by the police with a rubber bullet in the eye. She's lost her eye, couldn't be saved.
And nothing will happen. No repercussions of that.
Well, fuck knows.
Are you going to tell me have they been arrested?
No. None of the police. The police are still out in force. Like this is the government's, and not even the government. Some of the states, because you saw with some of the, like with the Flint, Michigan, the sheriff who walked with his constituency, because I learned this, I didn't know at the time, but sheriffs have to be voted in there. He walked with them, as well as it been the government's answer. It's local counties and mayors who are making these decisions to send the police out in force. They could be doing it peacefully, like some of the protests we've seen with some of the officials that we've seen. I think there were photos of Miami as well, and other places where they'd managed to have peaceful protests and peaceful walks and stuff.
That's good.
So
I mean, because it's not everyone. It's not everyone who's instigating violence, instigating any of this. And I think I can say
majority are there for peaceful protest.
I think I can say from the both of us, we hope that everyone's staying safe out there, regardless of who you are, unless you're causing violence, I suppose.
Unless you're causing violence, then go fuck yourself.
Then you kind of deserve a bit of karma. So essentially, Anonymous, they made the Minneapolis PD website and the city website inaccessible while the protests were being held. I think that was Sunday morning in America, not for us, but in America. They essentially used a DDoS attack. So it's a disrupted denial of service attack where they just overload the network's resources.
So many requests, like...
Yeah, so no real users can get on there. Imagine sort of rush hour in LA, but 90% of the cars are just empty, and that's basically what it is. They did instigate a capture on Sunday eventually to stop this from happening. I don't know how long it took them to actually get on that. I'm assuming a little while. They also posted a Facebook video on May the 28th addressing the Minneapolis. Is it Minneapolis or Minneapolis?
I think it's Minneapolis, but it could be Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. I'm going to call it Minneapolis. The Minneapolis Police Department saying the horrific track record of violence and corruption. They're just targeting them because of that. Sorry. They're going to address the Minneapolis horrific track record of violation and violence and corruption, basically. We do not trust your corrupt organization to carry out justice, so we will be exposing your many crimes to the world. We are Legion. Expect us. So this was essentially going on while there were protests and riots held across the country. As we say, protesting began peacefully, and then it sort of devolved into this using tear gas. That mace spray is ridiculous. Yeah. I thought that was water at first, and then when I realized it was mace, I was like, fuck, do you know how much of that would get in your face?
Like I said, it's reminiscent of the 90s, the LA riots in 92. Like I said, some of the footage indistinguishable from, apart from video quality, indistinguishable from 1992. It's ridiculous.
It's just kind of scary.
Well, that it's still and that it's history repeating itself. It's Rodney King over again, but this time, unlike the many times since then, someone had to die for no reason.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's how change happens. Unfortunately, is someone has to die for people to take notice in some cases.
It pretty much is. It tends to be the case most of the time, unfortunately.
Well, there's an island near to where we are, and I'm pretty sure there's been accidents, there's been like little bumps and stuff like that. It really needs sets of like traffic lights just to stop people from ramming into each other. And I guarantee it will take a death for them to actually change it. And I'm dreading the day that happens.
Because you
'cause
have
it's
to
just-
use
it's
that
just a-
roundabout.
Well, yeah, I have to use that roundabout, and it's just a matter of waiting. I'm like, am I going to be the one that finally gets these lights put up?
Oh God, that's a morbid thought.
I fucking hope not. Get on it, redacted government, redacted council. So yeah, and last but not least, Anonymous uncovered names relating to the Jeffrey Epstein Black Book. I'm not going to mention any names here because I haven't read through anything and nothing's proven, and I don't want to drag names and stuff like that who may not be involved. But I'll leave a link for you so you can.
Well, I was going to say
yourself.
we'll soon find out. I think how much of this is to be believed, but if the stuff about a particular Oring man, then
we can say that. We can say
it
that.
spells the end of
Oring man. Oring man.
Bad
more
man,
like
Oring bad.
Gone man.
Get out, man.
Got him.
Have you seen the picture of the White House with all the lights out?
No.
No, it's fucking creepy. They've just turned all the lights out on the exterior of the White House. It's like,
Oh God.
Someone's put a picture.
Looks a lot better to me.
Someone's put a picture of the gay pride lights up from, I think it was the Obama administration, next to the picture of Trump's administration with all the lights fucking out.
Oh, that was Hillary Clinton.
Oh, was that her picture?
I'm pretty sure it was.
All I saw
Hillary
was that,
Clinton.
and I just the contrast of the two pictures made me giggle.
Here we go. Oh, this is it. Yeah, Hillary Clinton tweeted this.
Oh wait,
saying elections matter, vote.org, and the anonymous Twitter page at Your Anon News retweeted this. Where is it? Let me find it. It's somewhere in here. By the way, their following has gone through the fucking roof. They were on like maybe a couple thousand on Saturday, but now they're in the region of like what is it now? 5.3 million in a day or two.
million.
Fuck, it's ridiculous. Where is this picture? Oh, there it is. So Hillary Clinton tweeted the picture of the rainbow house, and then the dead house, and then Anonymous quote tweeted this saying, "This is coming from someone who rigged the 2016 Democratic primary. What a fucked up world we live in." So make your own mind up about that. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. That was a good tweet. Sorry, I was talking about SpaceX. You can,
Yep.
I'll start again.
Don't worry, there'll be editing involved. Carry on.
Thank you, Howard. You make me sound smart as always. Seeing as I couldn't read that tweet for a few seconds. So yeah, the two astronauts, Doug Hurley and David Beckham, they docked into the International Space Station. I think it was yesterday.
Didn't they send a Russian robot with guns? As well.
With them?
Space.
With Doug Hurley and David Beckham?
I don't know if they sent it with them, but they've sent it to go to. Carry on talking. I need to look something up.
To meet them there. So the Russian death robot starts at the one end of the International Space Station. They start at the other end, and they have to pick up weapons on the way. I like how this is going. So thanks to SpaceX and the new Dragon capsule, I did read Elon Musk's book not long ago, and it talks all about basically how he became how he is today, crazy man, and how sort of he's gone through a few of these Dragon capsule things and the launch and stuff. I'd recommend it. Go and check it if you need a book to read during these isolated times. Pick that one up, I suppose. It pulled up to the ISS. If you found another...
Carry on. Sorry, carry on.
Oh God, is this to do with the Russian death robot?
Keep going on. I'm just doing a bit of minor research.
Oh God, is this going to be World War III? So it pulled up to the ISS and docked automatically. Hurley and David, no, I won't say that anymore. Hurley and Bob did take control of the capsule about 100 meters out. just to test it, just to make sure that the actual flight controls worked before they automatically docked. But apart from that, everything was all automated. It took them 19 hours to reach the ISS from the Kennedy Space Center. I think is it in Florida? The Kennedy Space Center? It's somewhere.
I think you might be right, actually. I think you might be right there.
Now, you may be thinking, Howard, so what's the big deal? People go up to the International Space Station every day. Not
Every day. Not quite every day, but yeah.
Every single day. There's a bus every 20 minutes. Well, this is the first privately built and owned spacecraft that has carried astronauts to the orbiting lab in it's nearly 20 years. And was the first, and so they were the first astronauts sent to space from America in nearly a decade. I think it was 9 years ago that the last NASA spaceship was,
Space shuttle. Aye.
shuttled up. But none of that's as important as, more importantly, a blue sequin dinosaur called Tremor will be meeting up. Sorry, did I stutter? A blue sequin dinosaur called Tremor will be meeting up with Earthy, a globe plush that was sent in an unmanned Dragon capsule previously. So it must have been when they were
didn't one of
resupplying.
Didn't one of these explode on the launch pad recently?
They'll both be coming back with the dino. Yeah, I think one did explode. I think I saw that and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because I thought that was
big
the
explosion.
I thought that was the one.
Oh, the manned one.
Yeah, I thought that was the manned one. I was like, "Oh my!"
Those poor
fuck.
people.
What an awful weekend this has been. But no, they made it so far. As far as we know, the Earth is flat as far as we know. So
what was this about? A sequin?
That was a joke. Yeah, Tremor.
Tremor.
What about him?
Why
What
are
about
they
him?
in space exactly?
I'm sorry, why not? Equal opportunity.
This is the man who put a Tesla in space, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, he just shot a car off into space. But no, I think the sequin dinosaur was actually, I think it was Bob's kid's toy, and just took it up with him. And he's going to bring them both back. So Earthy the Globe plush will be brought back in about summer. So he's been up there in the space station. Go, fuck me, these guys are annoying. And now he's coming back sometime in summer. They're planning to bring them back sometime in summer. I think this was just like sort of a test flight. They're not going to do anything in the space station, probably. They'll probably just chill out, chillax.
Just there.
While,
I was gonna say, I think unfortunately we were a bit late on this. Russia terminates.
Better late than never.
So that robot this was from September last year. Russia terminates robot Fedor after Space Odyssey, so he will not fulfill his mission to replace human asteroids in spacewalks. Now, it's a cool.
He's gonna replace asteroids.
Yes. No. It was a test to see if he could replace astronauts. You can kind of see a picture of him there.
Oh, I thought you said asteroids. I was gonna say, I am an asteroid, but deadlier.
Well, yes. The thing is, as you can see there, he's fairly autonomous.
Jesus.
And
God.
Yeah.
The Russian robot shoot gun. Hello? What? Yes, please. Oh my goodness.
So Fedor's, completely capable of going up and taking over the International Space Station.
Oh my god.
Just like a James Bond movie.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I don't know why that was so. Yeah, something sparked a memory in me there. Anyway, moving on.
So basically, you are right. So Bob and Hurley are actually trained military operatives, and they're going to have to go in and exterminate this robot who is essentially the alien from Alien, but less alien and more.
He's taken the crew.
Car.
He's taken the crew hostage. We've got to send up some secret plushies agents. What are we doing here? What is going on the International Space Station? Why are we sending up robots with guns? And why are we sending up plushies? Are they flashbang plushies?
Oh no, they're much worse. They're grenades.
Oh, perfect.
That's why his child had tremor for so long. But yeah, so they'll be brought back in summer. Not the robot, by the way. That's going to be shot off into
Who's the
space
robot?
and never seen again. Fucking hopefully.
Well, apparently his mission's over, so fuck him.
Oh, well, thank fuck for that. You know, like, Jesus Christ. I would not be surprised if the US military pulled him out next to calm everyone down. He would fit in well.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I think they said, what was it? Russia blasted his. The developers said on Wednesday, admitting he could not replace astronauts on spacewalks, which means, poor thing.
Phew.
he's
Phew.
shit.
I mean, he could literally replace astronauts. You don't have to bring them back with this one. Smell doesn't bother him. And lastly, the man himself, the big man, Musk, said this is hopefully the first step on a journey towards a civilization on
Spice.
Mars. On Mars.
I love
Musk,
space.
what is actually on Mars that you really wanna get to? It's big and red,
I really want,
and no one's been there.
I really want to get to Mars for the water. Really want the water. Water. I don't know what he wants to be on
I'm
Mars.
sorry,
so much.
you may be a bit late, Musk. I think the water's.
No,
are
I'm
you
sure
gonna
there's
tell
plenty
him?
of water. I'll take the water. It's very nice water.
He just puts one bucket in
He
the.
tends to. I like his work, but he tends to just fucking repeat himself a lot.
You kind of have to when you've got that much shit going on in your brain.
I'm very disappointed with him on the last episode of Joe Rogan, but at the same time, he had just. I think they just had their baby, so he was probably a bit fried.
I bet say he's probably sleep deprived already from his job, and then he's got another. This is his 6th child, I think. So he's. I mean, he's.
Where the fuck's this come from?
He's got. I'll call you X75917. Get in the cupboard. So yeah, that's all my. I think that's all my real life news for us this week. As we move on to something a bit more virtual and for me, I suppose, a bit more exciting than space. Is that we have a PS5 event.
Yes.
Coming up very soon. Actually, in 3 days. June the 4th, as we're recording this on June the 1st.
Very nice.
Unfortunately,
What?
for us, Howard,
What?
it's happening at 9 p.m, so I don't know how long it's going to go for. I think it might just be an hour. If it's
probably,
an hour,
yeah. I don't think it'll be longer than that.
it shouldn't be too bad if it's just an hour. I'm gonna say for all purposes of intents, this is basically going to be exactly the same as the Xbox reveal last month. Was it last month?
Yeah, some nice polished trailers and stuff.
Yeah, which again, I don't mind.
Yep,
Any
not a
information that you can
child.
give me, Sony, I will gobble that shit up. So you had in a blog post, which I will leave a link to in the description if you would like to read the whole thing for yourself. Jim Ryan, the president and CEO of Sony
Space.
Interactive.
Oh,
Of-
that's a picture of a black controller.
That is a picture of a black
Very
controller.
nice. Finally.
As I think I did write this somewhere else. Oh yeah, so I did write about the tweet. There's a tweet as well that you can find, but you know, bleh. There may be 2 console variation, two color variations. Yeah, is it variants or variations?
I think.
I'm
I think
right.
variance basically means. I think it's just a shorter way of saying variation.
Oh, var. I'm going to say
There's
var
2
for now, 'cause
variations.
That's even shorter.
If there's 2 variations of something, but once you get to 3, I don't know. Maybe you'd say 3 variants. I'm not sure.
Vari.
If
If
it's
it's
just
more
one
than...
variant, but then it's a yeah.
Oh yeah, if it's just one. Yeah. So there's 2 variations. I'm going to carry on.
I don't know words. Words hard.
So why is he the president and CEO? Does that give him more power
Don't know.
or less? I'm gonna say
gonna assume
more,
more.
seeing as I mean, who has 2 titles? Well, people who work 2 jobs. The game. So he's saying. So this is in the blog post. The games coming to PS5 represent the best in the industry from innovative studios that span the globe. Studios, both large and smaller, Those newer and those more established all have been hard at work developing games that will showcase the potential of the hardware. This digital showcase will run for a bit more than an hour, and for the first time, we will all be together virtually, experiencing the excitement together.
For the first time!
And the last, because we hate it. A lack of physical events has given us the amazing opportunity to think differently and bring you on this journey with us, and hopefully closer than ever before. This is part of our series of PlayStation 5 updates, and rest assured, after next week's showcase, we will still have much more to share with you.
So, excuse me.
And yeah, that's how he ended it.
That's exactly how it ended.
Just in all caps at the end, sneeze. So what we can glean from his words is that this is going to be one of probably, I'm going to say around 3 events. I'm going to say this one will be the same as the Xbox one, where they're going to show sort of third-party, not massive games, but third-party games that will be coming to probably both Xbox and PlayStation, but they'll be like, oh yeah, look, it's on PlayStation already.
Sony do like to focus on their indie developers quite early on.
I think it is going to be more of that.
Since I think they did it on the PS3 as well. Since the PS3, they've been quite spoken about their independent developers.
We may see a game from the people who made Journey. Who knows? What was it? That studio?
He hasn't done one. He hasn't done one since the PS3, so I'd really like it. That game studio.
That game studio. That's it. So you never know. We might see a game from them. It would be kind of a good way to show off maybe any new controls that the PlayStation 5 controller has.
Yeah.
If any. I did see one. Somebody made a mock-up of the controller. I will try and find it somewhere if I remember. If I don't, tweet very angrily at me at cluelessnet, and I will try and find the link for you. But there was somebody made a mock-up of the controller, and you know, sort of where the light bars go.
Yeah.
Where the so how they kind of stick out around it. It's sort of, when a game launches, your controller physically changes. So it extends a bit, and you've got more like touchscreen buttons underneath where the buttons are currently and stuff like that, and it looks fucking sick. And that screen is actually like a touch screen, and
it's only a mock-up though.
Yeah, it's only a mock-up, but it looks fucking incredible. It looks incredible, but I can tell you now that the battery life... A very awesome looking ass lies, I have to but like, sort of, it just, give me that, Sony. I know the battery life would be fucking awful because there's a really nice touchscreen looking on there and more touchscreens underneath, but god damn, I'll charge it every fucking day to have that shit. I'll try and find the link for you later as well, Howard, if I remember.
Yeah, better.
So, that's going to be the PS5 event on, what day is it going to be on? On the 4th, so it's going to be Thursday.
Wednesday, did they say?
Thursday. Oh, it might be Wednesday in America, but I don't know actually. I think this might be the American date, so who knows? But yeah, so that's going to happen. So we'll be talking about that next episode for definite. Now, a game that has been rumored for this event has been Silent Hill. Now, we heard rumblings about this earlier, as you described to me. So it's going to be announced on June the 4th anyway. So this is a tweet from Aesthetic Gamer, aka Dusk Golem, who, credible or not,
he's a person online.
He is a person who has a keyboard who can type things. So we should believe him, like you should believe us. Every word we say, every word. Don't believe every word we say, please. So yeah, if this ends up being wrong, erase it from your memory.
Okay.
So I'll erase you as well. So he tweets out, let me also say this. This is not me backpedaling. I'll still be as open, firm, and concrete as I can be. I still fully believe in what I've shared. But I also can see a scenario Sony shifts things to later. And I want to be open about there's things that are not... What does he say? I want to be open about where things are at now, if that. So he says...
I can't see the tweet.
Oh, do you want me to? I think there was a tweet in the. Sorry, I was just reading. I left you out. Sorry. There you go. It is a two-parter, so you will have to open it up. So he says, there is a possibility that I still think it'll be at the first reveal event due to some things. It is a PS5 exclusive game and presentable, so it's likely to stick. But I felt I needed to say something in the face of uncertainty and take the lashings for it now rather than later.
Okay.
So he's basically saying that it's gonna be announced. I don't know where the actual original tweet is. I will have to find that out or see where he actually mentioned it, because this was just in the article. So maybe he's just defending the point that he made earlier. But apparently, so that's going to be announced. Apparently, we will have to wait 3 days to know for sure whether we shall sharpen our pitchforks. And my last one before we get to the behemoth of PlayStation news, Marvel Avengers gameplay will be coming on June the 24th at the War Table stream. Which
I have no idea what that is.
Neither do I, but it's. I think it's a game, it must be a game stream of some sort. Where I don't know why it's called the War Table.
Something for nerds.
But yeah,
I'll
big
be there.
nerds. I was just about to say I've got my front row ticket. They'll be showing off apparently new gameplay and some co-op and some new skins and stuff. They haven't really showed a hell of a lot, but they did tweet this out, showing that we've reassembled at home and are working to finish our mission. We can't wait to show you new gameplay and co-op in our first Marvel's Avengers War Table stream on June the 24th. Oh, so I think it is actually their stream. I think it may be a who's making it. I don't know who's making it. Whatever company's making it, I think it's their own stream, perhaps. But they'll be showing new gameplay. I hope it's not gameplay that was leaked, because that would suck.
Was the gameplay that was leaked?
There was gameplay like when it was first announced at E3, but I can't remember if they officially released that gameplay short after. So I'm hoping that it's not just that, and they're saying, "Oh, look, it's new," because technically we didn't announce it.
Is that who I think it is? Where's the? Oh, the quality on this is terrible.
Yeah, the quality on the video is not the best.
I thought I saw Thanos. Anyway, oh no, that's War thingy Hulk from the Planet Hulk. Okay.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Hulk, yeah.
From a distance, it looked like Thanos in his gold armor, and then I was like, oh no, that's Planet Hulk.
No, I think that might be one of the skins that you can possibly get. I'm not sure that that's part of any mission.
Don't know.
But that might just be a skin. I'm going to assume it's a skin
cool.
and cop out. But yeah, it does look very cool. And we will be looking at that again when it comes out again. But now, Howard.
Yes.
Did you watch... Well, you must have watched The Last of Us Part 2 State of Play gameplay reveal.
No.
Oh, well, perfect, because
No,
I've got a lot of notes for you. Good, Howard. You haven't watched it. That's really good.
No, I totally watched it.
No, that's really
Maybe
good,
3 or
Howard.
4 times.
0. I like that number. So The Last of Us Part 2, just to sort of preface this, I'm going to save the sort of story elements of this for later. So, I mean, spoiler warnings for this whole thing if you haven't played one and you intend to play them both without knowing anything. And yeah, fuck you. Click off. No, don't. I love you. So yeah, I'm going to save a little bit of the story stuff for later. So I'll let you know when I'm getting onto it. But I'm going to just delve through sort of the gameplay stuff. So I'm not going to go through it frame by frame. I've done this out of order necessarily so that people have to go and watch it to get the whole experience. It is a good 20 minutes, I think, of gameplay, and I highly recommend that you watch it.
It's a long one, yes.
But I did notice when it started up, I am disliking the start of these state of plays where it sounds like my PlayStation's being turned on. Because it sounds so weird. I had my headphones on for my computer and I heard the beep, and I had to, like, my head just like went poof, looking at the PlayStation going, the fuck?
Who turned you on? Oh.
Oh, it was me. I'm so lonely. So the water, I noticed at first that the water and the facial graphics looked amazing. I mean, I didn't know whether this was being played on a PlayStation 4 Pro or a regular. I'm gonna say it's a Pro.
I think it was a reg.
Oh, was it a regular? Fuck, that looked amazing. The water.
To be fair though, I think they tend to do most of these on a Pro, so I'm gonna say it's a Pro just because of marketing. But
I'm gonna hope it's a reg or a slim at least.
Yeah,
that's what I've got.
But to be honest, like the graphics look, we've seen what Red Dead can look like. I think these graphics are on par with Red Dead's graphics, if not a little bit. I think some of these shots we're seeing are cinematics.
Oh, definitely, like the one where she's in the bedroom playing the guitar and stuff like that. Those are cinematics.
Because on the gameplay, a bit like in Red Dead and other games like this, Neelix, don't you fucking dare. Turn around. You're not jumping down there. Idiot. He's trying to jump down around the back of the computer. He's like, there you go.
It's real warm back there.
Well, you know where I've told you here. Go on. Sorry, yeah. So once you can tell between the gameplay and the cinematics. 'Cause, in the gameplay, the models are a little bit sharper, a little bit crisper, whereas in the cinematics, you can see everything's much softer and smoother, more like film-esque.
Yeah, and looking just beautiful.
Yeah, so I think you'll get pretty close to this on the original consoles as well.
I'll tell you what though, just between this and Ghosts of Tsushima and stuff like that, I am not looking forward to the sounds that my PlayStation is going to be making. Trying to run these. My PlayStation struggles trying to play fucking Dreams.
Give that thing a clean out, man.
I don't think any cleaner is going to help. It just sounds horrendous. I probably will need to get some compressed air or something at some point and just have a mash through that. But anyway, onto gameplay.
I think the thing that most impressed me, because I'm watching this again in the background, the thing that most impressed me is the animation, I think.
The animations were that is the thing that draws me into a game.
Not only the cinematics, but the animation during gameplay. I think I mentioned to you when you see her later on in the video pull her backpack off and start crafting and then throw the backpack on, and within a second she's on a ladder and she's climbing up and she's... Like, if the game really is that fluid to play, that was the thing that was missing from Red Dead. Like,
the fluidity.
To instigate animations on that game is a kick in the tits. You get used to it after a while. Like, when I'm playing Red Dead Online now, I know what I'm doing. So, like, I know how to instigate early button presses and stuff, like if I'm skinning animals and stuff. I know how to get through those animations as quick as possible, but you shouldn't have to learn that stuff.
Yeah, it should just be built in.
Yeah, whereas this looks like going from crafting to an attacking stance is instantaneous, kind of. You just kind of throw the backpack on and get up and go.
I suppose it has to be, really.
Yeah.
Because you could be in a situation where you're getting fucked up and you don't have to wait for it to put everything away. But so with this, we've got sort of new movement styles. I mean, it sounds kind of stupid saying it, but now Ellie can jump around.
Yeah.
And is a lot more, would you say nimble? I'd say more nimble than Joel for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And she can now use the rope to climb down to places, which I don't think we had in Last of Us Part 1.
No, you pretty much had to set up like ladders and makeshift things to climb.
But now you can swing about on a fucking rope and it looked cool. So essentially what she does is, and I'm glad that it's not just sort of you walk up to it, press square, and she like just sort of animated tosses it over the edge or just like kicks it over the edge or something. I'm glad that you sort of get to throw it like a grenade over the edge. It did look to me as though it was placed there though, and she obviously wasn't carrying it. So I think it may just be that they're dotted around the map. Unfortunately, you can't just tie it to things and just grapple down places, but we'll have to wait and see. This was only like 10 minutes of gameplay. It seems as though as well that this is more of an open world sort of scenario instead of
this feels
guiding you.
It feels more like they've gone in the way of like Mass Effect an outer world where it's like, here's a big open world environment. It's not the biggest in the world because you'll move from this open world environment to this open world environment to this open. I think there'll be big chunks of open world, but not a full open world. I think that's why they can put so much detail into some of these shots.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be sectioned off.
Yeah, so it's going to be a linear path through these sections, but I think the gameplay in between will be much more off rails. Like before, you were on rails the whole fucking game in Last of Us Part 1. There was pretty much
not complaining.
Not complaining, but there was pretty much no chance of you kind of exploring an area because
there's not much room for experimentation.
As well, they didn't really put anything in those areas in the first one, so there was nothing to find and stuff. Whereas in this game, I feel like there's going to be more interactivity with the environment.
And I want the game to encourage me to go
like
and just
gathering
explore
resources and stuff and crafting stuff. I think it's going to feel much more like a modern this generation, or probably actually no, next. I think it's going to feel like a next generation game. Obviously, they're not quite there yet. We'll get there with the new engines, but yeah, I think.
But this is
these later
last
games,
time.
These later games of this generation have really got this kind of next generation feeling down.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Like Ghost of Tsushima and this. And
Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead, Death Stranding.
Red Dead definitely. Red Dead blew me away, and that wasn't even like the complete end of the life cycle either.
No, but that was at the point where most generations of consoles, that's where they tend to pick up, is towards the end of the console's life. So last 2-3 years. Yeah. And then in the last year of most consoles' generations' life is when you get those really big pieces where the developers have really pushed the consoles as far as they can go, and they create some beautiful products. It always happens at the end of every console generation. So I have a feeling this is going to be that game of this generation, along with a few others. I think Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead.
Death Stranding. Yeah, I forgot about Death Stranding. I think I'll do that again. I'll just forget all about it. But yeah, they did this last time. This was sort of The Last of Us Part 1 was the end of the PS3 life cycle, and that sort of blew everyone away again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the event of Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead, and Death Stranding, it's not as big of an impact, I would say, as probably the first one was graphical wise, because it's like, oh yeah, it looks really nice. But
I think a few companies, I think a few developers beat them to it with this. They could have done with, if they wanted this to be graphically punchy, they would have needed to release a bit earlier, I think.
Just before Red Dead, I would say.
And a few other engines. The Ghost of Tsushima engine with the foliage and everything on that. I think there are plenty of other companies that have done it just as well as this, which is why it's not like as impactful. But I think the story is going to be just as impactful as the first one was. That's what the first game was mostly about. It did look beautiful, but it was narrative. That first game was.
And that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
a very gripping sort of. I like the sort of dark and gritty story.
Yeah.
Of The Last of Us Part 1. I may go back and replay that just before playing this.
Well, I'm looking forward to. The only reason I wouldn't go back, because I've played it a few times now, the first one. The only reason I probably wouldn't go back is because this is more what I'm looking for, which is that great narrative experience, but with a little bit of opportunity to move the story around a bit, maybe. So maybe the big heavy beats of the story, they're linear and they're the same for everyone. But hopefully there'll be more experiences in between, which are kind of like, oh, did you go down into this random little thing? Oh, yeah, I found this thing. And then people are like, oh, I never even thought to look in there. And those are the sort of things. That was probably one of my favourite things about Red Dead, was the discovery that the community then got to go through with the game. Like, the people are still discovering stuff on that fucking game now.
God, I would not be surprised if they started discovering stuff at the end life cycle of the PlayStation 5. They just jam-packed that shit full of everything.
They packed that game to stupid levels.
But yeah, with that sort of open world and sort of letting you explore a bit more, you get different options of how you want to play sort of each mission. So you can either go in, kill everything, play Rambo style, do whatever you want, or you can sort of avoid enemies. You can avoid enemies at all costs, sort of sneak past everyone. You don't have to sort of barge your way through, because unfortunately with The Last of Us Part 1, you most of the time you would be stuck in a corridor and it would be like, I'm getting past this one of two ways. I'm either going to sneak up behind it, stab it, or I'm going to shoot it. Whereas this
one
time
uses much more cover and environment to...
You might be able to jump out of a skylight or something. You may be able to break a wall.
The fact that you can punch windows and stuff and just run away around a corner. And
it gives you more opportunity to change up how you play.
Yeah, because there were a few areas like this I remember in the first one where it wasn't open world, but it was kind of like an open little map, and there was enough room to like move around and re-establish like stealth if you needed to and all that stuff. But this looks like it's like if you needed to, you could just leave the area. Like if you're like you're almost dead and you've run out of ammo, because these games are ammo conservers like Resident Evil. You might just need to leg it. There's no way you're going to do this without extra ammo and stuff.
And you can do that. If you find yourself in a bit of a pickle, you can literally just run away from everything, regain your stealth, and come back again.
Whereas in the first game, you kind of just got to a point where it's like, I'm out of ammo. You just kind of could give up and
just hope that your knife starts firing bullets. So you can sneak in tall grass. You can prone now. You can go completely flat on the floor, and you can hide in tall grass. You can hide under cars. They will eventually find you, though. You can't just hide under them forever. They will eventually look under them if they've detected you, I think.
You may have someone there for assistance. So you might be ducked under a car while the other person comes up and behind the other thing and then stabs it, or you could be hiding. The other person's out, and then you just kind of come out of nowhere and just shank the fucker. So it looks like you've got companions throughout the story. It doesn't look like they're all the same companion either, so it looks like you kind of meet people for sections of the game.
Yeah, oh my god, I thought you were about to say you're just going to meet people for sex. I mean, you can do, probably. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to swap their weapons, though, unfortunately.
No, I
can't see them letting you do that.
I think they're just there, a bit like Ellie was in the first game for Joel. It's to have a bit of... It's a great way to do narrative on the move in the game, and to get exposition is to have another character. Otherwise, you just got Ellie talking to herself constantly, and then occasionally talking to someone she meets up with. So
or a coconut that she sees on the floor because she's gone insane.
So it's good to have those kind of companion characters. I mean, Rockstar have been doing it for years. How many fucking missions do you start off with where you've just got to drive with someone or ride on a horse with someone, and on the way you get all the exposition you could possibly want?
And they always fucking die. Every time. So please, Naughty Dog, make the AI good. Don't let them die.
The AI in this, from what I've seen, looks impressive. We'll have to see when the actual game comes out, but it does look impressive.
I like the idea that they can start flanking around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it was God of War that added that sort of feature with your son. Your son would sort of position himself very well in fights. He wouldn't do obviously as much as Kratos, because Kratos could probably split a mountain in half and he just got a bow and arrow, but he would position himself expertly in fights and just position himself in such a way that he'd sort of always hit, I suppose, most of the time. I need to replay that game. But yeah, with the companions, if you can get them while you're sort of doing free roaming, because you can actually use a horse now in your sort of free roam to travel around, and you even have to use a boat at points because places are so fucking flooded. I wonder if you can bring companions during that section of the game. Will you be able to change their loadout? And if so, will that carry on through the game? That would be my sort of caveat to that. Yeah. Hopefully, because I do like the ability to change up what my companions have so it matches up with what I've got and it works a bit better.
Outer Worlds did that quite well, and Fallout and everything like that.
So Obsidian, get on it. I know you're not making the game, but
Obsidian,
please just go into... show them what to do. The one thing that did stick out to me and looked very impressive, because the amount of times that I would get hit in The Last of Us, just with melee weapons, is the fact that you can dodge out the way of attacks, learn how people attack with certain weapons. And you can counter attack. I wonder how that works.
Magic.
I wonder Yeah, I mean, it is Ellie's magic of melee style.
We shall.
She's like a ninja.
We shall have to see, but I assume it'll be like time counters. Like you'll have a certain amount of time you can counter an attack before it's too late.
I hope they don't have like a bar or anything up while you're fighting them. I hope you have to sort of just judge it yourself. Like you have to judge whether their foot's just a bit too far forward, and you press square and just bam, just counter attack them.
Yeah.
I hope it's more like that. I hope it's more visually, less UI-y.
Oh, and also, watching this video, I've just remembered Alana Pierce was very impressed. She can now swim.
Oh, yes. Fuck me.
And underwater.
The amount of times. The amount of goddamn times where it was just the shortest little swim ever.
It's like, no, you... she's dead.
Again. How did she... Again? I've got multiple copies back at home. With that, you have also new infected types.
Yeah.
Did you see these? The stalkers, which, I mean, you can guess what they do. They sort of skulk around and stalk you and come out of nowhere and just fuck you up. So that's, yeah, looking forward to that one. Shamblers. So essentially what shamblers are is, if you want to imagine the boomers from Left 4 Dead 2, not the ones in real life, they, instead of, when they spew on you, instead of showing your location to all of the other infected, it burns you. And also they have armor, so not like the boomer at all, but just worse, essentially. And they didn't show any more new infected. They said we're gonna have to wait and find out, with a horrifying screech in the background, which I can only assume means a mega clicker. It's gotta be. Although actually, didn't they already have a mega clicker that was sort of just like a big burly version of a clicker that was quite fast? I don't want to see these new infected. That first game was hard enough. I have a feeling
it's going to ramp up the difficulty on the last game, I think.
Yeah, well, I think the regular runners and stuff are a lot more aggressive and quicker this time. And I'm going to assume they've upgraded the clickers as well. So I'd recommend buying at least 2 controllers to play this game, about how frustratingly difficult it may or may not be. That you've also got dogs. You don't, unfortunately, as far as we know. But your enemy, who I will speak about later in the story section, have dogs, and they can smell you, basically. And there was a clip where she walked through a door and then walked around, and the dog started just sort of scratching up the door that you went. So it's really smart. It's not sort of the dog smells you and then the dog just positions himself to look at wherever you currently are. It follows a smell trail that for some reason you can see while you're in listening mode.
Again, another very Red Dead thing.
Yes,
That's in Red Dead as well, scent and the ability to track it using that thing where you can see people, not through walls in Red Dead, but you can see people from a distance and things like that.
I don't know if you can use it on other people. I assume you probably can if you can see it, because all you kind of saw was her trail.
If you watch in the video, I can't remember what point it is, but she can kind of see people through the walls.
Oh yeah, because that's listen mode, isn't it? So you just hear them. So that was in the first one, but I don't know how this smell mechanic works, or if there's like a different button for smell or
I have
something
a feeling
like that.
It'll all be in the same.
So do I.
Same thing, bit like Red Dead, because once you put that mode on in Red Dead, you can see people's scent, you can see the trail of their scent, you can see where they are in the distance, you can see if they're hostile, like if they're red or yellow, and all that good stuff. So I have a feeling it's going to be a very similar mechanic to that.
Probably.
Which comes in very fucking handy in Red Dead, so I can only assume. It comes in very handy in games where there's lots of foliage.
Yes, I agree. It's sort of like heat vision.
Yeah.
Which Red Dead has a lot of foliage.
Almost
not a lot of
too
heat
much,
vision.
some might say.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh my god, the amount of time. Like we were playing online the once, and we were hunting bears for like an hour, and then just as we gave up, a bear came out of literally nowhere and killed me. The second we gave up, the second we got on our horses to ride away, one came and just pulled me right off my horse. Also, crafting in this game has had an improvement as well. Not so much the crafting on your person, although that does look quite cool as well. You can actually see.
It does look like that's a bit faster now, though, the crafting on foot. I
think it might have to be just for the fact of how quick the gameplay might be now. You might not have enough time to do it the old-fashioned way. Plus, you're a bit younger than Joel, so you can probably move a little bit quicker. You've got more nimbler hands. So it's essentially when you upgrade anything, I think it showed in the video that you put a scope on your rifle instead of looks like
there'll be weapon mods. You got so silencers, scopes, magazine extensions probably.
I don't know how did Left 4 Dead 1 do the animation for upgrades? I don't think it actually showed you the upgrade, did it?
Don't think so, no.
I don't think it physically showed like Joel putting the upgrade on the weapon, but now it does. You can see everything.
This had a very Dead Rising kind of feel to the crafting mode.
Yes.
With like a workbench kind of thing. In fact, there will probably be workbenches around the map for you to upgrade on.
Much like Part 1, yeah. Part 1, I think you had to wait to get a workbench to upgrade weapons, but you could still craft things on your person.
Yeah.
Like what we saw in this trailer of an explosive arrow towards the end, which looks fucking cool. I assume it's going to take a little bit of resources that are kind of hard to get to create that. But you can also create a silencer. I'm not sure if the silencer is limited to the pistol, but I think it may be, because I think that's probably the only one that you can craft.
I think you might be able to use silencers. I think there might be temporary silencers though. I don't think they'll be solid ones. I think they'll break down over time. So I think you'll get a certain amount of shots. So you can probably put them on most guns that aren't a shotgun.
I think that you can. You can try, but I think you get 3 shots out of it first, and then there's an upgrade, which I'll talk about the upgrade branches in a second. That allows you to shoot 5 times. So you still have to collect the pills and stuff like that to get your upgrades. But there is an upgrade where you basically just build this silencer, put it on, you can shoot it about 3 times, and I think that's about it. But then the upgrade allows you to go 5, I'm pretty sure. So with the upgrade branches, I can't remember how it worked in The Last of Us Part 1, but she picks up a book and it unlocks the precision branch of her upgrade tree, essentially. So from what they showed us, there was a survival branch, which seemed to be for increased health and stuff like that. Crafting branch, which it said that you can make better health kits. I'm going to assume it means you can lower your crafting time. So that might come in handy if you keep getting into jams and have to keep crafting shit. There's a stealth branch, which improves the craftable silencer durability. And I think it also improves your hearing abilities as well. I think that in different trees, there are multiple unlocks that work for your hearing, so they're not all in one branch. So I think maybe in the survival branch, you might have more distance or something, and then in the stealth branch you might have more precision, something like that. Or well, that would probably be in the precision branch, which helps with aim stability and accuracy. But I think you might have to pick up a book for every time you want these, so I don't think it is limited to those 4 branches. It may increase to however many you can imagine. Or however many Naughty Dog can imagine, at least.
I see that suppressor's made with a Coke bottle or something.
Very nice. Coke bottle, some cloth, and maybe tape, probably. I'm going to assume it's
She stabbed him instead.
I mean, it's a quieter option. And she saves on the one shot.
Save the suppressor.
Yeah, save the suppressor and just suppress their life instead.
Oh, it degrades as she uses it as well? That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, I think you get 3 shots out of it first. and then 5, I think. Don't quote me on that. But with these skill abilities, apparently I saw a headline. I didn't read the whole article. Forgive me.
Never.
I saw it very close in passing. He says as he sits on his phone for the next 3 hours looking at other things. Apparently you can't fully max out all your abilities, so I think you have to pick and choose.
Pick the ones that best benefit you.
Yeah, so sort of maybe if you're sort of someone who goes head first in, maybe do your survival and crafting branch so that you can craft more health kits and you have increased health. Rather, if you're somebody who goes for more of the stealthy option, you can go for the stealth branch and the precision branch so that you're just silent as fuck and a ninja. You're playing Ghosts of Tsushima, but in Seattle
Yeah,
instead.
The stealth does look really good in this game, to be fair. Looks like it could be fun to play through on stealth.
I feel like it's going to be sort of one of those games where you have to play it twice.
It looks like it could be fun to just run in and just like... Because that was actually one of the things that I enjoyed in The Last of Us 1. It wasn't easy to do, but if you had enough ammo and if you planned it out, you could kind of run through and chain attacks, like go from like weapon to melee quite quick. And it was a game where you could run and gun if you like figure out like your ammo situations and stuff well. If you plot things out, then you don't have to stealth. You can kind of,
as with many great things, if you plan, you can probably accomplish it.
I've just remembered the hostage mode. So like you could distract someone, run up and grab them, and then you've got a few seconds where no one's shooting you to think about.
I think you could even do that with zombies as well. I'm pretty sure you could do that with zombies. You didn't just have to wait for a person. I'm pretty sure. And then it doesn't really matter if anyone shoots into that.
Zombie shield.
So, from this point on, we're going to talk about potential story stuff. If you don't want anything spoiled, I recommend you delete this episode now. And never listen again. Or just skip ahead at some point. Just be careful going from this point onwards. So this part 2 is set several years after the first game. It's set in Seattle in a huge former quarantine zone. There are 2 warring factions who are fighting over territory and supplies. So the first one is the Washington Liberation Front, or the WLF, who began as a resistance to the military occupation in Seattle, who eventually gained control from them after I assume being overrun by a few too many. What do they call them in The Last of Us? Biters? Do they call them biters or zombies?
I remember them calling them the clickers, but I don't remember what they called. Just a zombie.
We'll just call them zombies here. So these people are a bunch of highly trained, organized, essentially army. Basically, they are an army, and they stole a lot of the weapons from the army who left them behind when they... probably not left them behind. They probably just stole them after killing them all. I did see... Oh, they do kill trespassers on site as well, so keep that in mind. They aren't the most trusting bunch. I did see that there was a sheet. Did you see this? There was a sheet kind of put over the side of a van that had the rules for the WLF on there.
No, I didn't see that.
It was... I mean, it's not amazing rules, but so they have 4 rules as far as I know. They may have more. So the first one is all WLF soldier instructions must be followed. 2, FEDRA collaborators will be executed. So I don't know what FEDRA is. Is that federal?
FEDRA, Federal Reserve? I don't know. I'm not sure.
So FEDRA may be another group that we don't know about. I would like to see a third group. 2 groups is cool, but a third underground group that not many people know about. Now that's interesting.
Called SpaceX.
FEDRA X. So number 3 is permission is required for leaving assigned zones, and number 4, curfew will stay in effect until further notice. So that third one
sounds like they're in control.
Yeah, well, yeah, they basically are. They've sort of overthrown the government basically in that area.
Yes.
So the third point on there interested me more than the other ones, just from the fact that permission is required for leaving assigned areas. So I'm wondering if that may play a part in sort of how you get around places. You may be able to snag a walkie-talkie maybe from one of them, and then you get above a roof or something, radio down and say, hey, look, you've got to go over here, new orders, and then they move and you can get to a different section based on sort of who you direct where. That could be an interesting mechanic. Or not, it could.
It might just
Not
mean
be.
that there are safer areas and not safer areas, so to get
I think
protection
it will
first
be.
Yeah, it might just be alluding to that wherever they are currently is quite safe, but if you're moving into another area, you're going to need permission. You're essentially going to need to assign a mission to go into that area.
Well, unfortunately, you will not get such permission because they will kill you on sight. So I think also that sort of third one will be good for the fact that you will probably be able to study their movement patterns. I'm going to assume they have patrols. So if you're playing a stealthy run, you'll sort of know that they'll be in roughly the same area for most of the time, and you can study where they go, maybe come back, because you never know the extent of how open world it may be. You may scout out an area and then you come back later with for a mission.
Whenever games have those kind of patrol things, and I'm a stealth player, I still don't do it. I still can't be bothered to sit there and figure out their patterns. I play what would be considered, I don't know, opportunistic stealth, where it's just I start moving and I don't stop moving until everyone's dead, but I do it very quietly, crouched, and I just move quickly. And the moment I've got an opening, I just take it and hide the body if I can. If I can't, don't worry, move on to the next body if you can get there before they get a chance to see the next. So that's my kind of style of play, is that where it's like I could sit here and learn all their movements, or I could just jump in. So it's kind of a mix between combative and stealth. It's just to go through as quickly, and you'll die a few times probably, but I find that more fun is to just go on a whim and just sometimes like you'll have like a split second to kill someone before they make a noise or something, like to alert everyone. It's like, oh, there's much more of a rush in it.
I feel like it's more exciting. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. A game that's good for that, if you ever want to play a retro game and want to play sort of a game where, I mean, there's no sort of animations for when you take people down in the old Thief games. I would recommend that, because that is a game where you have to be silent and stuff, and you have to be very opportunistic, and it does up the blood pressure basically. So I would recommend that. The new one's okay. That's a good one. It's pretty cheap now.
I think like 2 and 3 are my favourites.
Yep. So go and check those out. I'm pretty sure they're quite cheap now, all of them. So
yes,
go and check those out. So to combat these, the WLF, there are Seraphites, or the Scars, where they're known for the scars that they inflict on their self, basically. Or I don't know if somebody else does it for you. I hope you don't have to do it yourself. That sounds horrible. Not that I'm planning on joining or anything. These guys, I wonder if you can join up with these people, or if they're just going to be enemies for life.
Yeah, I wonder if you can get... They haven't mentioned anything about it, but I wonder if you can get, like... You could get, like, an outfit of theirs to sneak into, like, compounds and stuff.
Oh, that would be very interesting.
I wonder if there's disguises.
Hitman style.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be very interesting. I didn't think about that. That could be...
I don't think there's any other game other than Hitman where you...
where you steal other people's clothes and they fit perfectly.
Yeah, I was going to say, there are games like that, but it's not that you steal their clothes, it's that you steal their body. I'd literally just thought of Kill All Humans, and then I was like, oh yeah, you could go into people's bodies and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a little... I don't think Hitman's that far forward in his technology just yet.
He'll
stick to just killing them.
He wishes he could be.
Yeah, I think we all do.
I
That would be
want
awesome.
to crawl inside your body and kill everyone. Oh dear.
I mean, you wouldn't know who to trust at that point. Not that we do now. So these Seraphites are more stealthy and use more silent weapons like bows, knives. I could have sworn I saw one with a rifle though in that gameplay. As soon as he was saying it, I could have swore one of them had a rifle, but I probably am wrong about that. And apparently they break people's arms as well. Clip their wings, as they say, more nicely, I suppose. But it's just they hit the elbow area with the hammer. So
Nice.
don't mess with them, basically. And that's it. That is it for the Last of Us Part 2 State of Play. Go and watch it. It's in the description. But that's a quick... well, that was probably longer than the video itself. But that was a quick roundup of everything that you need to know. Howard, do you have anything else to add?
No. Other than I look forward to playing it. I don't know if I'm going to play it before Ghost of Tsushima or not.
When do they both come out? Well, this one comes out June 19th.
This one comes out June and Tsushima comes out July 17th, I think. But there's also Destroy All Humans coming out soon that I want to play. There's a few games coming out that I want to play as well. It's like, as much as I love The Last of Us, I was never really expecting a second one. So this is just kind of a bonus. I was happy with the first game, but so I'm not as excited as maybe. I think part of it is the fact that they've been talking about it for so long that
it sort of killed its own hype.
It was one of those things. I don't think it's the game's fault. I think that's just the marketing team's fault for that.
Yeah.
A lot of other games have done it much better. Ghost of Tsushima has done it much better, where they've only shown very small amounts of clips. And I think another game that's done it is Cyberpunk, where I'm just like, I'll still play it, but I'm not as excited as I was when I first heard about it. It's like, guys, just fucking stop talking about it and wait till you finish the game.
Just let me play it already.
Yeah, either let me play it or go away.
I would rather them just keep it under wraps. Like, the reason that I've been so fucking hyped to see this new PlayStation console and every little nugget of information that PlayStation give us is because they're giving us fuck all.
Yeah, and they've kept it till the last fucking minute, to be fair. We're in the same... Yeah, we're literally a few months away now from the release.
And we won't see anything until at least next month, minimum. They won't show the console on Thursday. I stake my life on it.
Oh, no. Yeah,
that's gonna come back and bite me if they do. But no, I'm staking my life on it. Howard, you can have everything I own if they show the console. God, why am I saying this? Please, Mr. Sony, please. What was your name?
Mr. Sony Man.
The president, Jim Ryan. Please don't show the console. Please, I need to eat. And yeah, so I think that's all. I think that's all we have for this week. Unless you've got any recommendations, Howard.
Have I got any recommendations? Have I? I don't think I have. I would search for where you can. Have a look into the LA riots from the 90s. There's a few lessons we could be learning from some of the footage. In fact, I'll put a few links in from a few documentaries I've watched in the past on the LA riots of the 90s. If you're at all interested in like the history of like Compton and the Crips and the Bloods and all that stuff, then I would recommend that. Yeah, do some learning. But other than that, I haven't really got any recommendations.
Do a little bit of learning on the side, which we may be doing after next episode. I don't know if we're going to go to 18.10. We may just go to 19, as I think we've become kind of comfortable recording separately instead of in the same room. So we may just go to 19, and then we may do 19.1, and therefore after we'll see what the UK government does. You know, it's up in the air at the minute. But yeah, so that's all we have for this episode. You can check out all the links to everything. I would recommend going to cluelessinter.net, not just to go to our website to give us numbers, but just for the fact that some of the fucking descriptions out there are atrocious. Spotify, I'm looking at you.
Fix it.
Please, fucking, you've got Joe Rogan now. He's going to be pissed if it's fucked up, so get on it.
Oh, yeah. You've got Joe Rogan coming, so get that shit sorted out, mate.
100+ million and you can't fix fucking links. Give me a break. You can follow us at Clueless.net on Twitter. I've started just retweeting and liking a load of stuff on there. I don't tweet per se myself very much, but if you want to see what I'm looking into, what I'm interested in, I retweet and like a few things now. I'm trying to be a bit more active on there. You can email us at podcast@clueless.net. Because Howard's got his own personal Twitter if you want to find that as well, where you can find out all his thoughts. And
you probably don't want to follow that. I'm a bit of a shit on Twitter. I'm a right cunt. I get into arguments constantly.
And so if you want a light version of that, just follow the Clueless.net Twitter, and I may retweet some of the arguments.
Sorry, I'm talking to Neely.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
What are you whinging about?
Hello, Neelix. So you can email us at podcast@cluelessinter.net. I'll be streaming over on twitch.tv/cluelessinternet every Sunday. I start at 6:30 p.m. GMT and go on till probably about 8:30, 9. So come and hang out. I suppose I'm playing Red Dead. Not Red Dead.
No,
I wish I could play Red Dead on my computer. I'm playing Resident Evil 4. It starts with an R. I was very close. We'll be back next week with the PlayStation breakdown. Hopefully it's not as at home as Xbox's one. Oh, that was another thing that I wanted to say, that they said that they're not going to do sort of the at-home webcam sort of thing. They're going to just do a proper professional exhibitions.
Good.
So probably all be animated and everything. There probably won't be any people on there. So yeah, we'll be back next week. Rest in peace, George Floyd. And thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.
Good night.
Unless it's the day, then
good night.
Fuck you.
Bye.
That's it.